All right, hey everybody. So I've got an update on my progress on my pier build, and I wanted to just bring you up to speed on that. So stick around and we'll get into that just next. My name is Doug, and this is AstroAF. So if you haven't already seen it, I have the first part of my build, which gets basically everything that I had done so far up to this point. And if you haven't seen that yet, I'll put a link to that right above here. Yeah, that went over all of the setup and build for this pad and all the concrete work on the pier and things like that underground. At this point, we're working upward and worked on getting this pier all the anchor bolts in yesterday, and I've got some footage for that here that I'll pull up here. And then once that's done, we'll come back and we'll just do a quick walk around and talk about what's coming up next. So a little carryover from my last video. Here I'm spreading out polymeric sand, which is going to fill all of the joints in the pavers, and once it solidifies, we'll lock everything into place. It'll also help keep any weeds and things like that from growing in later and then over the years to come here. So yeah, I get that spread out and broomed in and then cleaned off really good, and then I wet it down, and that activates that polymer and it will set up. I had to let that cure for, I think it was a few days before it really solidified, and yeah, I thought it looked really good. Now here we're actually setting the pier, and first thing I was doing to get it lined up, measured, get it centered, and I decided to line it up parallel with the house there on the base. If you notice, I've got a little compass rose that I inset with some crystals. I've got quartz and obsidian in there that make up a little compass rose, and that's actually will be the North Celestial pole pointing, but it's offset from how I'm actually mounting the base, but I think it'll look better. And then come through with a 1/2-inch masonry bit with an impact driver, and kind of blowing out and vacuuming these holes and everything as I go, and that's to make sure that I don't build up a bunch of heat on the bit, and then it makes it a little bit easier to drill. So yeah, keeping them cleaned out. I'm not too concerned about being perfectly straight up and down right now. I'm coming back through with a larger drill bit, and I'm going to be working on making sure that those holes are straight up and down here. So here's this 1/2-inch drill, and I'm putting a 5/8-inch hole in there because I need to have room around the legs to put the epoxy in. So yeah, anyway, I'm just sort of reaming out these holes so that I can have plenty of room for the epoxy, get them all cleaned out, and make sure there's no dust in there, and basically just tweaking these as I go. And then I'm going to set up here in just a second, and that was a test fit. Now I'm putting down some tape because I want to make sure and control the epoxy overflow, and then prepping the epoxy. And my wife came out and helped me. I needed help here so that when I lift up the pier and start setting it down, she's going to help me align those bolts up through the bottom of the pier holes. And this was critical because we only had about like 4 or 5 minutes total of time before this epoxy starts setting up. And that's all I needed her for right there, and it was so important. So yeah, it's all gone really well. I was really happy to have help from my wife on getting those bolts aligned as we were setting this down. This is heavy. It's 1/4-inch steel tubing, and yeah, it's a sizable chunk of mass right there. But yeah, let me give you a quick walk around on this. I won't get into too much detail yet because that's coming in the next video when I start assembling this and getting the scope on, and I'll get into more details on the pier itself. But just to show you where we're at right now. So the pier is anchored down with 1/2-inch stainless steel lag bolts, and I had this custom made. A friend of mine over in Ohio did this for me. I'll talk about him more in the last video. But yeah, these are set in epoxy, and nothing is leveled up yet. The bolts are secured in the epoxy, and it's going to take about a week for that to fully cure. So I'll be looking to take care of some of the next steps. I've got these pass-throughs here, which are going to be for the electrical and networking that are come through. I'm waiting on some delivery of some parts for that, and to get the wire run, all the mechanical done on it and everything, and we're going to start putting on the top plates and getting everything aligned and leveled and plumb and everything. So it should maybe about a week, I'm thinking, week and a half or so, I might have the scope on this and start doing initial setup and be shooting for first light. So yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to catch you up on that for now, and I'm really excited about the project. It's going well. I'm really happy. I think the pier itself is really nice looking. My friend did such a good job on the welding and everything, and the auto body paint. It's an epoxy auto body paint with a clear coat, and should last for decades. So hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and thanks for sticking around and watching the video. Hey, if you like this content and like to become a channel member and support my content creation, I would love to have you. We get access to perks, get a members only area over in the Discord, early access to stuff. And if you'd like to support this channel and get something more in return, you know, something tangible, I've got merch. So you might consider that if you'd like to help support. So anyway, thank you very much. My name is Doug. This is AstroAF.